I don't know if you've heard or not, but there might be a tomato shortage in the United States. California grows a lot of the tomatoes, and of course they're having a terrible drought, and growers are saying they don't have enough water so the tomatoes will thrive. And this will affect spaghetti sauce, tomato paste, other type of products. It won't be that you can't find them on the shelf, but it will mean that probably the price will be hiked way up. So the smart canner, canning their tomato products right now. Now, this tomato is from my garden. I have some from my garden, but I've also bought some. Today, I am going to make a tasty meat spaghetti sauce. And I thought maybe you'd like to come along with me. Now, I'm not keeping this white top on while I can a tomato product. I mean, that would be a disaster. So I'm going to get into a comfortable t-shirt and then on with the show. First, what I do is cut out the core and that little black patch on the back, and then I wash them all really, really well. I love using a steam juicer to make my tomato sauce because it's so much easier than having to, for hours and hours on end, cook it down until it gets thick enough. In this case, I just core my tomatoes, wash them well, throw them in here with all the peels on, and in an hour, well, just wait. You'll see what happens in 1 hour. Now, I've filled this up to the fill line. You don't want to go beyond it because then when it's boiling, it could go out of your pot. And we'll put on next layer here. Put our tomatoes on top of that. Smoosh it down. Now I'm going to set a timer for 1 hour. Now we're draining out the tomato water, and that is in this reservoir right here. And so we get rid of that liquid, and that leaves the tomato pulp behind. So it was about 1.5 hours for these. And then what I do is use my immersion blender. And you get the idea. Be back when I got it done. There we go. There's the first batch. I got another batch in the steam juicer. Gotta wait another 1.5 hours. I got 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 pounds of Italian sausage. So now we're gonna brown it up. I'm gonna put some Italian seasoning on the meat here. There we go. And I'll mix that in well. Now we'll brown it. Okay, the meat's brown. I'm now going to put it in the sauce, and we'll start on the veggies. Now we're going to put in the garlic, the onions, and the red pepper. This is a previous red pepper that I had pureed and then froze, so I'll put that in here. Now, as for amounts, it was one very large sweet onion and one a little extra large sweet onion. So 2 together, 2 red peppers, and probably about 5 tablespoons of garlic, maybe a little more. Now we're just going to cook this up a little because really, remember, it's going to cook a lot when we pressure can it. So just kind of waiting until the onions get a little more translucent. Be back. I'm going to add just a little virgin garlic oil. Really need that for the sauce anyway. Mix it in. Okay, that's about right. Now we will pour it into the sauce. Here's our big bowl of sauce, meat, veggies. And I'm just gonna mix this in right now. And then I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator because it's getting late. And I'm going to actually can it up tomorrow. Just let it, oh, doesn't that look good? I'll be back. Okay, it's the next morning, heating this up. You see how nice and thick it is? Now it's time to do our taste test. See what we have to add. Maybe nothing. Okay, let's get this all up. Okay. Boy, that's pretty good. Maybe just a little more Italian seasoning. Just a pinch of sugar, I think. Not a lot. I shouldn't say a pinch. We'll put in this much brown sugar. Oh. Maybe a little more garlic. So I'm going to put in this garlic because it's just so easy. There we go. Now let's mix that all up. It just looks good and it smells good. Okay. Another taste test. I think it needs just a little zing. Don't do this unless you like this in your sauce. Just gonna give it a little red pepper. Okay, mix that up. Now it's gonna be ready for the canning. It's time to fill up our jars. Just look at how nice and thick that is. It's meat and lots of great tomatoes. Be back when I've got them all filled up. Now you want to leave 1-inch head space. And we want to, see, wipe off that rim well because you want a good seal. I'm going to put on one of our 4-jar lids here. We're going to do the back. You know, one of the reasons I like 4 jars is because I can get a whole sleeve, you know, 100 at a time, like in this box right here. It's very convenient when you do a lot of canning. And the seals are really nice. Now, if you notice, I have 7 jars, quart jars. Did it make 7 exactly? No. I'm going to have a little left over here. But only 7 quart jars fit in my 921 American canner. So that's what we're canning right now. Put on. And now we're finger tightening. There we go. Whoa. Accident. There we go. It's always harder doing things when there's a camera in front of you. more back here. Get on straight. There we go. Okay, they're ready for the canner. So I had this much left over. It was probably another quart, but I am not going to can just 1 quart. So this will either be supper or I'll freeze it. And now it's time to do cleanup. I forgot to mention, but if you are interested in trying 4 Jars canning lids, I have a discount code below and a website link, and go in and check them out. Like I said, how nice to get 100 of the largemouth lids or 100 of the regular lids. I just love getting a whole sleeve at a time. And I have never had a jar not sealing with my 4 jars. So I stand behind the product. Check them out. You see the canner is ready. It's hot because our sauce is hot. And I've put in vinegar so I don't get cloudy jars, and my required 1.5 inches of water. Oh, can you see right outside? See the little fawn going right outside my kitchen window? That's why I love where I live, because there's always wildlife. There's turkeys or deer or something. Makes working in the kitchen much more fun. Call it my wildlife TV. And I had the same thing at work. Yesterday we had a Cooper's hawk trying to bother these crows and squirrels, and the crows would have nothing to do with it, and they got it pretty good. But I guess Cooper hawks are pretty territorial, so they weren't happy that the crows and squirrels were there. And at work we see baby, fawns, we see ducks and goose sometimes in the spring. We've seen a hoary bat we've rescued. And of course, most unusual for me was seeing the coyote come across right around noon, right in daylight. Usually don't see that. And at work we only have a little strip of woods behind us. Amazing what can live in a little area of wood. I forgot to show you that I debubbled, but I did debubble each jar too, just to be safe. Always do that. Now I've checked, my vent hole is clear. Put on the top. And if you notice right now, this would be not the way to screw it in. Somebody asked me, they had steam escaping there. Canner, and want to know if that was good. And no, it's not good. What happens, see how far apart this is and how close this is? You want to even this out. It's pretty good. And that's why I loosely do one on one side, then we go to the other side, and do another one. Again, this side, then on the back. And this. And this one. Now, what I do then is, okay, do opposing ones, get them tight. There we go. Now it's ready. We're gonna wait until we have air coming out there. We want a stream of air, and then we're gonna timer it for 10 minutes. Be back. I don't think you can see, but we have a nice stream going up here. So now we're gonna set a timer for 10 minutes. So now I'm gonna put my weight on at 10 pounds, which is what I use for where I live. You might have to use 15 or 5, depending on where you live. Be sure to know your elevation. Now we're gonna wait until that starts making a nice jig, and that gets up to the 10-pound pressure. Okay, we got our jig going. We're gonna set this for 90 minutes. Okay, I'm turning off the burner. We're gonna wait until this gauge gets down to 0. Probably about a half hour. You can see it's way down below 0. So I'm gonna take off our waiter. Look here, a little bit more come out. And then we're going to loosen these. Take off the top here. And we're just going to wait about 5 minutes, then we'll take out the jars. I'll get a peek in. Can you see? Yeah, there was a bit of siphoning. That happens a lot with tomato products, but I don't worry about it. All the jars sealed, and as you can see, it's still bubbling away. But now we have 7 quarts of meat spaghetti sauce at today's prices for candy, as opposed to how they're going to inflate on the shelves at the grocery store. Enjoy, and always please subscribe and share the knowledge, and thumbs up if you like this video.